Okay, so welcome to this session. It is about changing your feelings really, really fast. And I'm doing this because I have gone through quite a few things. Those who don't know me yet, I'm Edie, and I'm also in A Team. So I've gone through a few things myself. I have been through depression at some point. I've been through a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of disappointment, and I started working on myself, and I started working on making sure that this is not my permanent state, because we can go to different states and there are life experiences we go through which sometimes do put us in a state which is not a good state or not a positive state. If you have ever been through anything like that, if you want, you can say yes, that you agree, or you can give me one perhaps that you've been through some, yeah, exactly. So, and people don't usually talk about these things. You maybe talk about it to your close friends, maybe your family. We sometimes don't even know what people are going through. And we've heard a lot about mental illness recently. It's been a lot of that on the media. And that is good, because we know that we are not alone when we are going through those mental states. So the first thing I would like to start with is actually the power of your mind. And one of the reasons why we sometimes go into that feeling of disempowerment, feeling of anxiety or fear even, is because we, as humans, we need to assign a meaning to a situation. So let's say that someone close to you, maybe your partner, maybe your child, maybe your close friend, promised to call you, okay? The time is when they should have called, it's 15 minutes later, they haven't called. You know that it is important for you to contact them, you try calling them, and they don't respond. There is no answer on the phone. What are your thoughts? You can put that in the chat. What are your thoughts at this moment? Why aren't they calling? Why aren't they responding to your calls? Yeah, stress, worry. What are you thinking is happening? So we've got worry, frustration, stress. What interpretation are you giving to that situation in your head? You feel ignored. They don't want to talk to you. Exactly. But do you really know what happened? Yeah, where are they? Yeah, so you could be worried about them. But as a matter of fact, you don't know the facts. You don't know what's going on. And one of those things that happens to us is actually that search for meaning. We have to assign a meaning to what is happening. And this sometimes actually acts against us, because we are making those stories in our heads when actually the truth may be completely different. Another situation, you are going down the corridor, you say hello to a colleague at work, and they don't say anything to you. They just almost as if they didn't notice you. What do you think? Yeah, rude. Any other ideas? Okay. Have you ever, yeah, they don't like you, exactly. Have you ever actually been thinking about something so hard that when someone actually just said hello to you, didn't even stop, but just said hello, you just were so deep in your thoughts that you didn't even notice? Is that possible? It's happened to me. Yeah, exactly. So it could not have anything to do with rudeness or with ignoring you. It's just perhaps they are so deep in their thoughts, they are considering a problem that they've got, and they just don't notice the environment around them. This is something that happens. So we constantly interpret the situations that we are in. And a lot of those interpretations actually come from where we are at the moment. So if you tend to be in a place where you feel negative, or you feel not appreciated by people, or perhaps you feel that maybe your self-esteem is not that high, this is actually when we are most likely to interpret the situations which are a little bit against us, or we think that something is wrong. However, if you are in a more positive state, if you are very self-assured, a confident person, you are more likely to say, oh, they probably have a bad day, that's all right, I'll go over it. So it much depends where we are at the moment. And one thing that we actually can do, and actually I start with something else. Sometimes in the morning, when people ask me, how are you? My response is, I haven't decided yet. I know it sounds funny perhaps, but the point is, how we feel totally depends on us. It totally depends on how we want to feel. So it's not perhaps so easy to do it the first time, the second time, but if you consistently remind yourself, yeah, it's going to be great, my day is great, everything is fantastic around me, this is going to happen. You are going to actually start becoming this person who feels so positive about the whole situation around you, that you will stop interpreting the situations in a way that feels negative to you. Obviously, there are situations that are very, very hurtful. There are situations that are like tragedies in life, and it's difficult in such situations to actually feel very positive. That's understandable. But let's be honest, most of the time we get upset about things that a week later we don't even remember about. So when you start getting upset about things, the first thing to ask yourself is it really worth it? Is it something I will remember in a week or a month? If it's not, well, what's the problem? Do you feel that it is something that you can actually try to start doing? Give me two if you think that it is something that you may actually want to try. Yeah? Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Sassy. Fantastic. Yes. So yeah, it's changing your mindset. Exactly. It's all about the mindset. And you can get up in the morning, see the rain, and say, oh dear Lord, rain again. Yeah, but so what? Right, someone is going. So why is someone going on my screen? Right. Can you still see me? Because I have disappeared from my own screen. If you see me, give me one, please. Okay, great. All right, great, thanks. So that is one thing that we can do. This is the first thing about changing our way of thinking. So stop interpreting, or start noticing the story that you are assigning to any situation that you are in, and start thinking like, is it really worth it? Okay, is it really a big deal? If it's not, just get over it, go on. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is gratitude. And you may have heard a lot of people say, oh, you need to do gratitude, you need to be thankful to. Well, you know what? Nobody actually explains why it is. And the reason for that is you cannot be thankful for something and at the same time be upset and be sad. If you are truly thankful, your brain cannot actually deal with this contradiction. So if you start thanking for whatever it is in your life that is good, your brain has to process it as a positive thing and has to get you out of a negative state. This is just psychology that is working here. And sometimes people say, okay, but what can I be grateful for? Whatever it is, people, whatever it is. Even for the sunshine in the morning, even for the birds singing behind your window, even for breakfast on your table that you enjoy. Anything, absolutely anything. You can start from the point of view of people who actually have nothing, and like, what do you actually have? What can you be thankful for? Give me perhaps one thing that you can be thankful for just right now. Breathing. Excellent. Excellent. Fantastic. Great idea, Natalie. Water. Yes. Yes, a lot of people actually struggle in many countries without the necessities that we take for granted. The families. Yeah, absolutely. Our families. So you see, lots and lots of things. The more you start giving thanks, the more you start being grateful for things, the more, yes, life, absolutely, the more you will actually be able to get yourself into the positive state. So, the day to appreciate, absolutely, absolutely. Great. So, some people actually do like a gratitude jar or a gratitude diary. So a gratitude jar could actually work, that you write what you are grateful for and you put it in the jar on the days when you are really happy and you really uplifted. And then on the days when you are really, really down and you can't think about what you are grateful for, you just take things out of this jar and read them. Okay, so this is one easy thing to do. And the last thing that I have planned, but we can go to other things later on if you want to, but the last thing is actually something that you can do in an instant. Sometimes you cannot do assigning the meaning, or you cannot do the gratitude. You are in a state that it is just not working, or it takes a little bit longer for you. And sometimes you have to put yourself in a very, very powerful state here and now. You probably have heard before that our mind influences our physiology. So, for example, you can make yourself ill by just thinking about the illness, thinking that about being ill, and so on. But the other way is true as well. Your physiology affects your mind. And I've read once about a study that was made with people who are depressed. And some people were so depressed. One lady in particular said that she was even depressed in her sleep. And the study researchers told those people to smile in front of a mirror for 20 minutes a day. After a month, they couldn't stay depressed anymore. But if you don't have a month, if you have to actually change your state in an instant, this is what we are getting to. So remember at the beginning, I told you, if you've got a little bit of space around you, we are going to use it. So I'm going to use the space around me. If you can, stand up, please. Okay. You should still see me pretty well. I hope you can hear me as well. I'll be speaking a bit louder. Now, physiology. Poses, power poses, people. The power pose of a winner. And when I'm talking about the power pose of the winner, I'm talking about your hands up, yes, arms up, but also relax. So your arms are up, but you're not tense. Just relax your shoulders. Also, look ahead or look up and relax your breathing. Breathe deeply. In other pose, like this, the Wonder Woman. We know that, don't we? Thanks for the Hollywood. All right, so those poses. There is a lady who is called Amy Cuddy, and you can find her on YouTube if you want. She had a TED Talk about power poses. The interesting thing that she discovered when she was doing research about power poses, 2 minutes only of keeping a power pose, like a winner pose or a Wonder Woman pose. There are some others as well, but one of those poses or two of those poses for 2 minutes changes your physiology. And it doesn't just change your physiology, like what you perceive, it actually changes the chemical readings in your body. So what she discovered, testosterone levels went up, and testosterone is responsible for your energy, for your alertness. Then cortisol went down. Okay, on loud. Cortisol levels went down, and cortisol is responsible for putting you into the stress state or keeping your stress state. And also risk tolerance increased. So those people who were tested were submitted then to an interview, quite intensive interview, and all of those who were holding those poses were actually so much better in the interviews that they were the ones that people who absolutely didn't know about what study was being done or who was holding the poses spotlessly were choosing the people who were holding the power poses. Okay. The previous employer used to make us to do the power pose before the day started. A good, knowledgeable person. They knew what they were doing. Actually, before you make a phone call that you are stressing about, or before you go to an interview or in any event that is actually stressing you or you want energy for, the power pose is actually to start. This is where you go. Notice how you carry your body around during the day. So some people actually, when they sit or even when they walk, they kind of hunch a little bit. Anything like the closed pose that you are taking is affecting your mentality in a negative way. If you are holding a pose which is relaxed, open, good breathing, this is when you bring in a positive state of mind. Okay? So we have to think about how our physiology can actually affect our mind and how powerful it is. And this is something that can actually work in an instant. This is not something that you have to train yourself in for weeks or days. It is not something that you can like, oh, okay, I'm going to think now what I'm going through, or maybe it's not so bad. You don't have to even do that. It's just change your physiology. So easy and in an instant. All right. So we've talked today about the meaning that we assign, about the gratitude, and about the physiology. So I'm giving you 3 things that you can use, that you can start using to change how you feel, to start changing your mentality. Okay? Now, are there any questions at this point? All good? All right. If there is anything else that you need about mentality, changing how you feel, like if you tend to get to that negative state, one of the things you can also do, start your day with a little bit of motivational training or motivational videos. Just put yourself into the good start. Right? Excellent. So I'll give you a bonus now. Okay, so that wasn't planned, but I'll give you a bonus. Start your day in the way that you win it. So a few things. What was the name of that lady? Amy Cuddy. It's Cuddy. So the way you start your day often affects how you feel throughout the day. Okay, so one of the things that you could do is when you start the day, think about 3 positive things. So coming back to the gratitude here, 3 positive things, all right? That's one thing. The second thing that you can do, move your body. If you stay in bed and you snooze it and then you drag your feet to the shower and so on, well, it's not a good start of the day. Move your body. When you start moving your body, so do a little bit of, I don't know, perhaps walking up and down the stairs, or maybe if you've got a stepper, just get on the stepper for 5 minutes, or do the lap jacks, or whatever it is. Move your body. Even if you do it for 2 or 3 minutes, that's something that you can start with. Another thing for the morning, drink water. Overnight, you may be sleeping, but your body is working. Your body is digesting, your body is repairing your cells, your body is doing all that great work that it needs to do when you are sleeping. You know what? It uses energy. If it uses energy, it needs water. You are using a lot of water during the night, and you need to keep hydrated in the morning. So a glass of water, and some nutritionists actually say a glass of water with a few drops of lemon or half a lemon, whatever they like, different views. If you can take that much, that's fine. Warm water, also what the nutritionists say. So that's another thing for the morning. And if you can, I know that in the UK at this time of the year, it's not very easy, but if you can, expose yourself to some light. So when you get up and it's already bright outside, stand in front of the window for a minute or so. Or if it is really dark still when you are getting to work, maybe at break time, get outside and go a little bit to that natural daylight. Okay, so a few things that we can do in the morning to start our day in a much better state. And when you start the day and when you feel like you own the day, this is when you can actually start owning the whole day, because you have a good morning. How does that sound to you? Is it something that you think could help? Give me 5 if you think it can. Thanks. Oh yeah, people are still listening to me. Great. Right. Okay. So I hope that you have enjoyed this session. I know it's a shorter one, but I don't want to overload you. If you still have time, if you have planned for another 15 minutes or 20 minutes of this session, rather than me talking, I would like you to start practicing things. So perhaps start writing your gratitudes, or maybe start thinking about how you usually interpret situations, like situations that perhaps happen over and over again. How do you interpret them? What could be another interpretation? What other meaning could you assign to it? And I want to leave you with one important thing, because a lot of people, especially in our group, in what we are doing in the trading thing, sometimes when things don't go well, we think that we've failed. But one thing, like one attitude that you can develop, is that there is no failure, only feedback, only learning. So whenever you feel like you are failing, start thinking about, what is it that I am learning from this? Okay? There is no failure, seriously. Life teaches us lessons. Without those lessons, we can't develop. So, well, sometimes you can even bless your failures, because they are helping you develop, they are helping you become a bigger person, a better person. So you need to develop this attitude that from each mistake, you are learning something, and it is helping you become a better person. So I will leave you with this thought, and I hope you have a good night. And I will stop the recording now, but if you want to ask any questions, please do so.